It was great. It's definitely a place I'd go back to. And I think, it's not as developed because it's a little harder to get to, right? You had to jump up, but I thought it was great. I mean, we walked and walked and walked. It was beautiful.
Did you stay with San Miguel?
No, we went to Puerto Fayal and what's the one the base is on? We took a ferry. Yeah, to Sarah. We took a ferry across to Puerto, right? Is that, or you do it the opposite? I forget. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, we took a ferry over. It was lovely. Puerto. Yeah. What the fun thing was, I mean, we were on a tour, but the guy was fabulous, and we went to this. It was kind of out in the middle of nowhere. This couple that do like farm to table stuff, and we had brunch there. They made, just for our group. It's a great, very fun thing to do. And they do like some breakfast and some dinners, but not a lot. You have to really get in there. But no. Oh yes, we did. The one where I wouldn't say it was hot springs. We went to one of the pools where it's, you're kind of in between all the lava rock. No snow.
Package.
Yeah.
I think Justine is coming.
And we use the mics for our new members. You just hit the little button. Don't do it just yet. No, yeah.
You guys will grab the strings. Pretty good. And here comes Justine. That's great. She's gonna sit there. I like it.
This is our pay raise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the salary increase for the environmental commissioners.
Oh. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
We need John over here then. We're changing?
they were tied up there for a while. So we all sat here. Now we feel it would be rude to
We
leave.
can talk to each other.
Yeah, he was saying he likes it better when we sit around the chair.
Yeah.
I know it's very disorienting.
Thank you.
I know, it's not usual. Our usual night.
I'm having a nervous breakdown.
I did know. Usually we're over there.
I don't know if I can adapt.
I like it.
All right.
We do have a full house.
Yeah, this upset the order of the universe. It's, the order of the universe has been disturbed.
I know, because November.
Yeah, wow.
I don't know if this whole table will support this weight.
Everybody, put your mics on now. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. If any member has reason to believe that this meeting is being held in violation of this act, they should state so at this time. Nobody, so pledge of allegiance, please. Do the roll call or have everybody introduce themselves, because we have a lot of new people here. Why don't we just go around and just, everybody can say, especially who you are and what you've been doing, and welcome everyone. I'm Mike Jones, I'm the chair of the committee. I'm the planning board liaison to this committee, and it's good stuff. Rose, you want to start? Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rose Trafficante. I'm an alternate to newly appointed member.
Very good.
I'm David Scheffler, I'm the secretary for the commission.
Dave does a great job.
Yes. Thank you, Dave.
Jennifer Flamini, and I'm a new member.
Good.
Gretchen Whitman, I don't know, 2 years? Losing count?
Good member. Go ahead.
Steve Bodner, I'm on City Council, and I'm liaison to the Environmental Commission. I think that Environmental Commission has a really important voice in the streetscape and the infrastructure in Cape May. Particularly shoreline resiliency is a really key issue involved with our town, as well as water sustainability and the delivery of clean water. So I think that a lot of the topics that we're going to be looking forward to discussing, they're going to be constant topics of conversation, are the seawall project taking place on Wilmington Avenue, the water desalination plant that we're working on. And I think that a lot of the issues that we will discuss will be collateral issues related to those particular projects. So I really enjoy being liaison to the commission. Look forward to continuing to work with everybody.
Barb Mindbreeze. I was appointed by Mayor Mullick when he took over the reins, and so I've been here a while. Anyway.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tony McCauley, and I'm also a new member, and I'm an alternate.
I'm Becker. I'm a new, advisory non-voting member, and a recovering architect and chair of HPC.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sarah Stevenson. I've been on the board now. I'm in the same boat as Gretchen, I think 2 years. I lost count.
Very good.
I'm Justine Magariel. I've been on the commission a few years as a member, but I believe I have a new status now as advisor, which I'm hoping we can at some point discuss today.
Randall Nitschke, I'm a internal medicine doctor trying to retire, but with no success. And I was dragged into this committee by my daughter.
Kim
Which-
Gronendahl.
I love the committee.
Kim Gronendahl, happy to be on the committee.
Good. Dave, can you roll call, please?
Actually, okay, go ahead.
Good.
So, Mike,
Yes, here.
Councilman Bodnar,
Here.
Gretchen,
Here?
Kim,
Here.
Randall,
Here.
Miss Barbara,
Here?
Sarah,
Here.
Jennifer,
Here.
Tony,
Here.
Rose,
Here.
John,
Here.
Justine,
Here.
Charlotte's on the phone.
Charlotte, she's there.
There we go.
Sunny Florida. Very good. All right, you want to,
Yes,
first things first, we do have one presentation. You want to do that now, or what?
Yes. Why don't we do that? Tony, we really appreciate you being here, but we also want to make best use of your time as well. So, Mike, if you want to, this is the bridge presentation for the First Avenue pedestrian bicycle bridge. Tony, why don't you come up and you can introduce yourself, give a little information about your background, and as you're setting up, I'll just mention that Tony's been instrumental in developing the First Avenue pedestrian and bike bridge that will connect West Cape May to the city of Cape May, provide a safe route for folks to be able to travel back and forth without having to go on Broadway. A lot of bikes obviously go on Broadway now. It's simply not safe. This will provide an alternative route for folks to be able to walk and to bike. And the thought is long-term, this will also be able to tie into a pathway that would be able to take folks out to the point as well. So there's a real cohesiveness, we believe, with this particular project. The City of Cape May and West Cape May have been working in collaboration on this. West Cape May has been taking the heavy end of the work by way of securing the funding, and Tony has been instrumental in developing this project, has put together a really, really good plan. We're really grateful for all the work that you've done. And Tony, I know you've had a chance to go before HPC to speak with HPC. Tony also came before City Council and did a presentation before Bicycle Committee as well. The Bicycle Committee as well. Yeah, you're making the rounds throughout the different committees and the commissions, and it's a great way for everybody to have an opportunity to see what this project is all about. So you were asked to come here today and speak with us. So I'm going to turn it over to you. So thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Right here, I'm Anthony Chadwell. I'm the borough engineer for Borough of West Cape May. We also do work with the City of Cape May as well. If everybody wants to get up here, I have a full-size plan. It's not huge, and I didn't think to share it digitally, but this is the latest iteration of the First Avenue Bridge, is what we're calling it. It connects West Grant Street along existing borough rights-of-way. Thanks. To First Avenue, the dead end over there. So it's be split like 50-50. The municipal boundary is like right in the middle of the bridge. The current iteration is a 55-foot long bridge with a small, like a timber pile, like a boardwalk essentially leading to grade. We're working through permitting right now with NJDEP, so this is all fluid. It's been an iterative process with all the stakeholders involved. I know Mayor Mullock specifically asked at the HPC meeting to remove the Phragmites that are infesting both lots. So we are asking NJDEP for approval to remove those and replant with something more native. So that's definitely pertains to this board. The HPC had some comments about the aesthetics of it. If you want to pass this around, it's going to be an arch style, but the camber or the height of the bridge is going to be essentially flat, 6 inches from the middle to the grade on each side. So it's not going to be a huge arch where bikes are going to be flying over it or anything like that, but it's going to be flat essentially with an architectural style. It's going to be weathered steel, like a brown weathered steel. So if you wanted to pass this around just to take a look, it's probably going to look a lot like that one. And then as it pertains to pilings, we're still going through the geotech, and that's why we have this like boardwalk style right here, because some of the soils on the north end of the bridge were very, we'll say, unstable. So we didn't want to put anything on grade that could settle over time. So both abutments on either side of the bridge and that boardwalk will be on piles. So there will be no settlement in the future. So it should last, way past any time we're still here. So this will be a generational project. It's a multi-municipal project. We will be submitting for awards at the DOT, and we'll take drone photos before and after, and it's going to be a banner project. So I think Steve already touched on the cohesiveness of the project. We're actually slated to award along West Grant on that side of the project and up First Avenue on the West Cape May side. Improvements to that road all the way to Sunset will include some bike sharrows or bike lanes and signage to guide people from the west side of West Cape May down that road, First Ave, and then eventually get to here without ever touching Broadway. So safety was always the crux of this project, to keep people off of the Broadway, because right now the bike path slinks back and forth on there, and it's a dangerous roadway, especially during the summer. So, and then the Point, the county has a project slated along the entire Nature Conservancy for thousands of feet, is essentially like a boardwalk style, 10-foot wide path that will attach from the Point all the way along Sunset to our project on First Avenue on the West Cape May side, which will tie into here. So it'll get you all the way to the beach, all the way to the Point.
What's the status of that?
This, for the county?
Well, yeah, I mean, is there anybody holding that up?
So we have talked to Bob Church through this entire process. We'll say a couple years away for the Sunset one. I think they're trying to get the traffic circle done first, which is like this fall, winter construction period, and then probably the next year after that, they'll focus on Sunset. So I think that's their timeline on that.
Where is this bridge going to be?
So it looks like a lot, but it's actually a paper street. So if you're, I don't know, if you're driving up Broadway and you turn left onto West Grant, I don't know, 5 or 6 houses up, yeah. It looks like it's a lot, but it's actually a paper street if you look on any tax maps. So it's actually municipal right-of-way. It's not a developable lot. So we're utilizing that on West Cape May side, and then on, it's the same situation on First Ave. So essentially, when they laid out the city's municipal boundaries and rights-of-way, this could have been a road leading up to West Grant Street. I don't know what they envisioned, but now we're using it as a pedestrian and bicycle facility.
So on the Cape May side, if you go, to me, I always visualize it in terms, or describe it to people, if you're going to the Mount Vernon Beach entrance, where First Avenue, you have Second Avenue and First Avenue there, you go to First Avenue, and it is a dead end on the Cape May side. The dead end being, that's Cape Island Creek, right on the other side of everything that's growing there. That's where the bridge is going to go over from the Cape May side over to, bridging that span between West Cape May and Cape May. So I would just add that a couple of items. One is that it's, and this is a Cape May project. We would be looking to add, the city would be looking to add a little more sidewalks on the Cape May side. If you go in that area, you'll notice there's sidewalks on one side, but there are not sidewalks on the other side. So we had a discussion internally, but also we've had several meetings with folks who live on both sides of the bridge to try to address their questions and their concerns, and one of them being about just traffic flow. Because look, it's going to be an area that right now it's a dead-end cul-de-sac, that there's not a lot of traffic there, except for cars that go down there and find out that you can't go through and turn around. You still won't be able to drive through there because it's not a vehicle traffic bridge other than bicycles. But by having sidewalks on both sides, we hope and believe that will encourage traffic flow both ways, to keep the traffic flow on the right with bikes and pedestrians, and alleviate some of the concerns for the local residents as well. So we've been in constant communication with those folks. Tony, could you just mention as well just what would be in plans? I know there have been discussions, people are concerned about whether people would be able to take an LSV up there, or what's going to be at the end of each side of the bridge, just to visually give that impact for people that you wouldn't be able to do that, but also to provide some type of safety barrier as
So
well.
other than the signage, we'll have removable bollards there to, if, you know, in the future, we need to do any maintenance on the bridge, we can remove these and get small vehicles on there if necessary. But for all intents and purposes, there will be removable bollards on each end, so low-speed vehicles or golf carts can't access the bridge at all.
And I'm not sure if you had mentioned it, but I believe this is a 10-foot wide bridge.
It's a
correct?
10-foot wide bridge. yeah.
So, which is, that's a standard for being able to take bike traffic
Yep.
back and forth and the foot traffic. We think it's going to be, it's going to be a very functional bridge as designed.
Yeah, it will be ADA, and it's designed up to AASHTO standards for the width of the bridge to allow pedestrian and bicycles to use them at the same time.
Was there a foot traffic study done for where it's going to be located? I don't want to sound disparaging, but from looking at it, where it's going to be on the map, it may only be removing people off of Broadway for just like a block or two.
So-
Doesn't really seem, it's really tucked back.
Yeah. Do you want to address that
So
first? And I'd be
on
happy to-
First Ave, people, on West Cape May, there's not a lot of sidewalks in general. So people are walking in the street already. And when they. On the West Cape May side, yeah.
Yeah.
There's not many sidewalks at all. So as part of the First Avenue project, we're including more signage and sharrows and trying to delineate a better path visually for these pedestrians. I don't think West Cape May wants to build any sidewalks. So if you're just looking at sidewalks, yeah, it doesn't look like it's very accessible. But everybody on the West Cape May side is going to know about this project. They already do. I'm getting emails daily. So, and I think the bicycle committee, in conjunction with GPI, did a bicycle study for the whole island. So that kind of.
It's really, when you're riding a bike and you want to get out to West Cape May from Cape May or to the point, this is going to completely alleviate Broadway. I mean, the traffic light there, and that's the whole point.
Well, from Beach Ave to Sunset, once you have to turn onto Sunset,
And that's where they're talking about the future county project.
yeah.
Yeah, so on Sunset, there will be a similar bridge or boardwalk that's 10-foot wide that extends the entire southern side of Sunset all the way down to the point. So it will be continuous.
I just want to touch on that study. That was a general study, which encompasses that area, that entire area, specifically the issue as far as traffic flow on Broadway. Candidly, Justine, I think there have been discussions on exactly what you just raised, and I think that the consensus is simply observational. We have noticed that there's so much traffic going back and forth, and that we will, through signage, will be able to create that behavior modification for people to utilize the bridge. I think that right now, a lot of people, there's a thought that this is kind of like the flow's coming from West Cape May into Cape May to go to the beach. We have all the additional parking now for bikes at the Cove that we had just done within the past couple of years, which if you go there on a typical summer day, you can see is very well utilized because those bike racks are full. And I would add, every one of those bikes means you don't have cars trying to find parking spots in that area as well. But as there certainly is traffic that goes in the other direction as well, and especially as this county project gets developed as well, for people to be able to bike out to the point or walk out to the point. I think it's anticipated that there very well could be even more flow going in the other direction. So I think it's going to be fluid between the two. Another aspect of the safety piece of this, because there had been discussion raised as far as a counter proposal to say to this was just making some other type of, trying to do something with Broadway to make that safer. And I think that was explored, that was discussed, but you can't get around the fact that people are still going to have to cross Broadway to go one way or the other to get back and forth from West Cape May to Cape May in whichever way you're going. In one way, you're going to have to go across there. And with, well, we have a history as well because we have had problems on Broadway as far as with cars and bikes and such. And we think that the consensus has been that this is simply going to be a safer route and will be highly utilized. But that's an excellent question. Paul, did you want to chime in on that particular issue, or?
Well, I mean, the project itself is for safety. You know, it's obviously going to be safer to use this pedestrian bike bridge on First Avenue and have all the traffic on First Avenue as opposed to having it on Broadway. I mean, that's just, so it's being done for safety.
And we have talked to the county engineer about how to improve Broadway. And other than losing a ton of parking and reconfiguring, there wasn't much interest on their side. They got bigger fish to fry, it sounded like. So this was all on West Cape May and Cape May City available land, kind of like low-hanging fruit. It's something that we could do today rather than just rely on the county to hopefully cross our fingers and they figure something out in the future.
But you still have the problems of the intersection at Broadway and Sunset. Even if you kept them on Broadway, then the intersection at the traffic signal is going to be a worse intersection than having them come out, and that'll put them out to right at the new county project, for that bike lane. So especially somebody from Cape May City wanting to ride out towards the point, it's going to be much more safer to do this than even if the county did do the bike, took away parking, put bike lanes down Broadway, it's still going to be, if you were think about it, if you're heading down on the right-hand shoulder of Broadway and then you go up to the intersection, then you're going to have to navigate across that intersection to get over to the new bikeway that the county's building. Whereas here, you're going to be off of that Broadway intersection at Sunset and get on there, and so it's just going to be more safer overall.
And as part of that Sunset project, the mayor of West Cape May has requested Bob Church to include raised pedestrian crosswalks with flashing beacons on either end on Sunset, at least at Pacific, if not at a second location, to really make it a lot safer to cross Sunset, to make that navigation.
A few months ago, we had a presentation about this from the neighbors, about their concerns utilizing the environment, basically, as their concern. Have you taken that into consideration, and what kind of measures have you
So
done?
we did wetlands delineation, which are shown here. On the West Cape May side specifically, it was noted to be 98% of the Phragmites, which we have plenty of. So replacing those with more native plantings and maintaining those, I believe, will be a more beautiful, sustainable practice rather than just letting Phragmites run wild. So that was taken into
Part of your application with the DEP, do you have to include a maintenance plan? Because you know how Phragmites are just going to take it over.
You can't just cut those down, so we're going to, have to inject the roots with herbicide or something in order to, completely remove the Phragmites in that area.
And during the construction, are there certain measures in place for like erosion control and all of that?
Soil erosion sediment control from, it's Dell Atlantic now. It's a whole new conservation district. But yeah, we'll have to supply those permits and have those measures in place as well.
So, any other questions for Tony? So,
Just have one. Will there be lighting associated with this project?
So there has been discussions, there will be no site lighting in general, but for safety, we were talking about possibly having some dark sky or down like a small LED light just on the bollards so that if somebody's driving at night, they don't crash into a bollards and But yeah, there's no site lighting in general.
The city may, there's already gas lamps on First Avenue. The city may extend a couple gas lamps up toward the end of the roadway, just to continue the gas lamps that are already on First Avenue. But that wouldn't be part of that. It may be subsequent to that, but it's not, it won't be part of the application to the DEP for that, because it's not needed for that.
So, Paul, could you address what the anticipated next steps or timeline are, just so folks have an idea as far as with that?
I mean, I think you're getting ready to submit the application to the DEP, and that same timeline, you know, they're going to have, I mean, unfortunately, freshwater wetlands don't have a 90-day clock, so, but we would hope that you'd probably get this permit by end of summer.
And from a funding standpoint, West Cape May was instrumental in like applying for grants.
Yep.
Bottom line is the vast amount of the costs associated with this project are going to be covered by way of grants. I mean, Cape May will have a financial piece to pay regarding permitting and maybe some
We'll have some associated landscaping, fencing, and curb and sidewalk work on our side, as well as afterwards, we'll probably put sharrows and different traffic markings to get us out to Beach Avenue, similar to on our side.
Yeah. But the bridge itself has been, and I believe the design work as well, I think a lot that was covered by way of.
The vast majority of it, yeah, the West Cape May got 2 grants, and the amount of almost $800,000 to cover the vast majority of the cost.
Okay. We really appreciate you
Absolutely.
coming today. Does anybody else have any questions for Anthony? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Really
Steve.
appreciate it.
Nice meeting you all.
Okay.
Nice,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, you take. We'll take it.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. You know where to find
We're back on old business now again. Planning Board, we have no meeting this evening. For new members, for the longest time, we were trying to get on the Planning Board, some kind of a relationship with the Environmental Commission and the Planning Board. And so now I am the liaison to the Planning Board on this commission, but we also, every application that is in front of the Planning Board, we get a chance to comment on it. Sometimes we, in addition to like fire police and shade tree, they all have a chance to comment on a project. And we usually, sometimes we comment, all kinds of things that we comment on. Usually it's some kind of native plants or maybe a lighting project or something that's not quite what we think it should be. And we make a comment about it. Gretchen usually does these reviews, and I can tell you that's read into the report. Every comment that we make is read into the application by our engineer. And every time he says that, he makes a question to the applicant. Now, do you agree with all these, that you will do these things? And they always say yes. As usual, we have to always follow up to make sure that they do it. But it's a good thing that we have this relationship, that we can make these comments on these applications. And we have none tonight, but we will in the future. That's my report. Steve.
Sure. Okay. So I think the first thing I'd like to address is we have a lot of new faces here today, and I know Justine had mentioned the discussion about we have regular members, we have alternate members, we have associate members, we have all different kinds of members. So I'd like to just talk briefly about that. We were down a couple of members going into this year, and our mayor put out at one of the city council meetings, I think a couple in a row, had said if anybody's interested in joining the Environmental Commission, has an interest in these issues, please reach out to the city and express your interest. And there was an overwhelming response to joining the Environmental Commission. So very grateful for that. And if people are listening to this live stream who applied and are not on the Environmental Commission, I urge you to keep expressing your interest in either this commission if there's vacancies or others as well, because there are other opportunities in the city. But when it came to the Environmental Commission, as I said, there were a number of folks who expressed an interest. And we quickly came to realize that there are opportunity for regular members of the Environmental Commission, but there's other, the city created a separate category of members on the Environmental Commission, which are called associate members or honorary members. Candidly, from my point of view, I don't see a difference between a regular member or an associate member. The only legal distinction that we have, well, twofold. One is a regular member would be required to live in Cape May. And an associate member, there's not a requirement that the person resides in Cape May. Secondly, if we vote on certain matters, then only regular members can vote on those particular matters. And Mike, I've been on as the liaison to the commission for this year and last, and I'm trying to recall the last thing that the commission voted on. So I don't think there's really as far as at the table.
We just agree to agree.
Right. So
Simple as that.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is I don't see a distinction. I see everybody here is a member of the Environmental Commission and has a say and an equal voice in the issues that come up. So that's my mindset working with everyone. I do want to touch on one aspect, and Mike, you just interestingly enough, you talked about being a crossover member with the Planning Board and the Environmental Commission. And as it turns out, John Becker is the chairman of the Historic Preservation Commission for Cape May. So John's not here by accident. There are a number of different issues that come up in Cape May. We have different boards, we have different commissions, we have different committees. We are a small town and our issues are not linear. There have been conversations that have come up about how can we have better communication and how can we have better collaboration between our different committees and our different commissions. And I think that those have been healthy conversations and really good conversations because that way we can all stay on the same page regarding the issues that need to be addressed in Cape May. The Environmental Commission and HPC in particular face issues that not only are common but intertwined. So the discussion had come up as far as having some crossover representation with HPC and the Environmental Commission as well. So we had those conversations, and I'm grateful for John's willingness to participate in the Environmental Commission as well. I think it's, if you follow the work that's done by the HPC, you know how critical that is to Cape May. We're all aware of that. And John, is particularly with your background, one as an architect, two as the work that you've done with HPC, and thirdly as a dedicated resident of Cape May on all of these issues. I think it adds quality to the commission. So in particular, although everybody brings a different set of tools and has a different reason why they were brought onto the Environmental Commission, I just want to touch on that because there was a discussion about an HPC Environmental Commission crossover, and that was part of the impetus for why the work was done as it was to bring a member of the HPC onto the Environmental Commission. So does anybody have any questions about what I just remarked on? Okay, Rose.
Hi, just a comment. I am newly on the Taxpayers Association. And the same discussion is taking place there about crossover and coordination and trying to not only see, the Venn diagram gray areas, but also to address issues that seem to be unrelated, but in the end kind of cycle around to what I would say are quality of life issues in a small community. So I'm more than willing to also kind of cross that bridge if there is an interest.
Okay, that's great.
Any non-voting member feel slighted?
So, no.
Okay.
But I do have a request.
Go ahead.
So the city's website with the membership list no longer includes my name, which is fine, but I don't totally feel comfortable speaking on behalf of the Environmental Commission and the city of Cape May in meetings with the climate school if they can't see like visual confirmation of who I am and what I'm doing.
Why is that not,
So-
why isn't that?
If that can be updated.
That'll be
that would
updated.
great,
That'll all be
because
updated.
I was also thinking about the open house, and if people attend, and then they're like, who is this person? And they search, and they don't see me as a part of the Environmental Commission, I'm thinking, that might not look good for
That's going to change
this
for you, it's
body.
going to change for everybody on this thing. I mean, I think it ought to be.
Okay.
I mean, like Charlotte doesn't even appear on that stuff. I think Charlotte's
No,
name ought to be
she
on
was
that.
removed, and so was I. and
That's
I
not
was
right.
like, oh.
No.
No, that was, if that was done, that was an oversight. So we will make sure that that gets corrected.
Yes, Charlotte.
I would note, I've noticed that I don't think we're the only commission that doesn't have our roster 100% correct on there. So I think that that's something that we can address by way of, David's on it right now, right?
And
Okay.
Charlotte's got a comment. Go ahead, Charlotte.
Yes, thank you. So I'm hoping that our commission understands what ANJAC is, Association of New Jersey Environmental Commissions. And we have a handbook. And in that handbook, and by the way, we were established in 1984 by Mayor Bloomquist and council for the approval of an ANJAC center right in the midst of Cape May. And we're joined by hundreds of other environmental commissions in New Jersey, and we're there to protect our surroundings. Our handbook goes on to say that members do not have to live in the city in which they're appointed. And I think that that should be noted by all members of our commission and by council as well. And if you need to see that, I'd be willing to copy it to you. It's very important in terms of following through with what's best for all of New Jersey, including Cape May.
Very good, Charlotte. That's fine. I don't think there's much of a disagreement on this committee, on this commission about what was brought up before. I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. I think Justine's comments are well directed, and I think they're going to be positive. We'll see.
Yeah, and I would say this, look, what was done was simply a matter to try to align as many interests as we can get on the committee, into the committee, working with the structure that is set forth by state statute. So we're working with a structure that it gives us a framework that we can't go outside of, but we were able to supplement, let's put it that way.
Very good. All right. Climate School, Justine, now that you're officially part of our group again.
Am I on or am I off?
You're on,
Guys,
you're
come on. Okay, so there will be a final report for Phase 2 of the first climate school project, which was on water conservation, water usage, forthcoming at the end of April. The group is divided into 4 sections, but they're actually taking on 5 projects. There is a proposal, this group is really concentrating their efforts on water usage reduction outreach and public engagement recommendations. So there will be a story map, essentially resident and tourist interaction kind of map that they will present to us that could be installed throughout the city, perhaps integrated into some of the other maps that we already have with QR codes and various signage. They're putting together a message and marketing materials package for us that would include social media assets, PSAs, newspaper designs that we could adopt to help educate residents and visitors on a water conservation ordinance, how we can reduce it, why it's, or how we can reduce usage, why it's important, et cetera. They are developing a software, CBA, a cost-benefit analysis tool for both the municipality and for people who live here. So it's pretty cool. It's essentially a version of a spreadsheet with templates entered, so you can add in your usage, add in this, add in that, and then calculate what your bill would be if you changed certain behaviors. And they're doing it at both the municipal level and for the individual account holder. So I'm really excited about that. I think people's behavior changes mostly due to, sticks and carrots. And people care about their pocketbooks, and if we want to affect change, I think we need to demonstrate to people how they can ultimately save money by using less water. They're also recommending a public art campaign, which is, I think, really exciting and in line with the personality and public-facing character of Cape May. There is sculpture, as well as different murals or installation sites that have been identified. The mayor is particularly excited about the sculpture recommendation. He and I have identified potentially a few sites on Washington Street Mall or in the parks where it may be a great location to have a sculpture that is themed around water conservation, because it would capture a lot of visitors, right? People who come here and don't know that we have this issue or these ordinances may linger in front of it for a little bit, read the plaque, understand why we need to save water. The team is also identifying potential artists and grants that would pay for this art. So the goal is that it actually isn't going to fall on the shoulders of the city. And then the final component of the phase 2 of this project is a plan, a roadmap for town halls and workshops where the city can engage with residents and visitors to explain to them a tiered water pricing system and a rebate system, a way to engage them so they feel more involved with the future rollout of these changes. And the Climate School will be providing dialogue prompts, really like a toolbox that we can use when leading these sessions, so that we don't have to start from the beginning and figure out how to draft everything. So overall, I'm really, really excited about the phase 2 of this because it feels as if the deliverables are the items that we need to actually implement these changes.
Absolutely.
So if anyone has any questions about any of them.
What is climate school?
The Climate School is a branch of Columbia University that worked with the city, or it has been for the past 18 or so months. What I'm speaking about now is phase 2 of the first project that they worked on last year, that was themed around water conservation and the desalination plant.
Okay.
At the end of that project, there were 4 recommendations, and one of them was community engagement surrounding water conservation. So this phase 2 took that subcommittee's work and now has built upon it to provide us with the tools we need to actually see this to fruition.
Thank you.
They're also doing another project for us
Good.
as well, that is, or it actually, phase 1 just completed, but it has looked at coastline resilience and the historic architecture of Cape May.
Just a comment about water. I think we just take it for granted. We turn on
Yeah.
that faucet, we turn on that spigot, we throw water out. We don't really realize where it's going, what we're doing, what we're not doing. My 2 grandsons have been taught since they were little, when you brush your teeth, you turn the water faucet, and they do. So I guess if we can do some more education, even to adults, because so many people don't even realize how vital and how important it is.
And it's a scarce resource here
Oh.
in particular.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a question. What's the opportunity to, are they going to be holding any like stakeholder meetings, or how can we provide some input and feedback?
So the 5th item that I mentioned were the templates, dialogue templates, workshop templates, and roadmaps for town halls and workshops, the stakeholder meetings that we would host. So we will be provided with recommendations on talking points, how to structure them, but ultimately we can edit them as we see fit in order to engage with the stakeholders. So I had recommended, when the mayor and I met with them last, we had said, Convention Hall would be a great place. We think it's probably unlikely to get people to come back more than once. So maybe just hold the event 3 times to give people the greatest statistical likelihood of being able to make it to one of them. And then invite different residents. Does that answer your?
Yeah, I'm always like brainstorming. You said something about with the social media messaging and all that. When I was director at the Nature Center, we would have these quarterly meetings that we called CORE. It stood for Cultural Organization Roundtable. And it was the heads of all the nonprofits in town. And we would get together, just basically share what's going on, but how can we collaborate on things? And even though, like, MAC's mission may not be environmental issues, they have a social media following. And to get the heads of these groups, the Chamber of Commerce, the different nonprofits, business, community, to really understand about this project and how they can, it's easy to put out a social media post and say, we are an eco-friendly community, and this is the one initiative that we're doing is water conservation. I think, that's going to help it go beyond, that's going to attract the visitors to our town that need to know that when they come into town that this is an issue that they need to be aware of and part of. It's not just the residents, it's all the visitors, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I think, we can adapt their recommendations however we see fit, but I had at least indicated that the priority was to engage with the business owners because of the top 100 water users, I think there's one residential account. It's all businesses and big hotels with pools and restaurants. So we were able to take all of that data, if it's public, put it on a spreadsheet and sort it. And in order to have really the support of those business owners, we need to engage with them. And then also offer recommendations for, okay, let's say you're a hotel owner, the water pricing system is changing, how can you help your visitors reduce their usage to help offset the price? So providing them with tools and a chance to work with us on it, almost as if we're engaging with the visitors via the business owners. Does that make sense?
They're here all the time, the business owners. Our visitors change every few days. So, yeah, and look, what appeals to the business owners more than anything else? The bottom line. So I think all of the work that has been done has really provided a lot of information that really shows why is it not only good for just for the environment, but why is it good for you from your business model as well. And I think from our discussions, Justine, I've gathered that they really can help us and have given us the information to get the messaging across. So now we just need to come up with the delivery system and get the word out.
And hopefully get buy-in.
Yeah.
So it will really depend on the rollout. Hopefully we can all work together. Perhaps at some point, so all of this will be delivered to me at the end of April, and perhaps over the summer we can schedule subcommittee meetings to work together on this outside of our monthly meetings, because I believe, would take over our monthly meeting if we did that, and there will be work that needs to be done more regularly, so, until it's implemented, yeah.
All righty, we do try and keep our meetings to an hour, and Steve, you had any comment you wanted to make?
I do.
Another project?
So, yeah, I guess the downside to us not meeting in January and February means that we're playing a little bit of catch up. So actually, Justine, what you just mentioned kind of segues into what I wanted to discuss is that, as I'm sure you're all aware, the city has scheduled a citywide open house. That's scheduled for May 20th from 5 to 7 in Convention Hall. The purpose of the open house is to showcase the different commissions, the boards, and the committees, and give members of those boards and committees an opportunity to interact with the public and residents. And there's people who they look on a website, they can't put it gives a chance to put a face to a name, and it gives a chance for people to explain their role, us as commission or committee members, to the public, and actually engage in a dialogue with folks. But it's also an opportunity for each commission, each committee to showcase initiatives that are important to each commission or committee, and also to show off and discuss any projects that have been undertaken and being worked on. So we've talked about community outreach. This is one of those opportunities to actually be able to interact with folks. The format of the open house is it's actually going to be a city meeting. It's going to take place, as I said, at Convention Hall. There will be an opening message by the mayor and the city manager. They'll each take a few minutes, and after that, each commission, committee, board, in turn, will have an opportunity to have a spokesperson from that organization give a brief, I'll call it mini presentation to the folks in attendance. Just a couple minutes, just saying, hey, here's what the Environmental Commission is all about. Here's what we are working on. I think there was an email thread that was going around recently with the group. Justine, you volunteered to do that mini presentation. Appreciative of you doing that. So doing that for the Environmental Commission. After each of those mini presentations, there will be breakout sessions, tables set up around Convention Hall. Each commission, committee, board will have a table manned by a couple of members of their respective committees to be able to interact with folks. So the one thing we do need to be mindful of is not having a quorum at the table, because it is actually a city meeting. So if more people show up, look, we just need to regulate amongst ourselves as far as who's in attendance at the table and who's not, which simply means just step away, as long as we just have a couple folks there. I think it'll probably take care of itself. But it gives a chance for folks who may not, folks who may have questions about different city issues but don't want to come to a city council meeting and don't feel comfortable speaking in front of a large group, to have a one-on-one or one-on-two conversation with members of those the different committees. Although we're not as much a decision-making body for folks as, say, HPC is, zoning, planning, shade tree, there's not going to be any specific discussions about projects that people want to have come up. Somebody's like, hey, I want to talk about my zoning variance to the zoning board. That's going to be off limits. They can't have those types of discussions about specific matters. But it's an opportunity to have general discussions about the different committees and the commissions. So groups that are going to be represented there are the Planning and Zoning Board, Shade Tree Commission, Environmental Commission, HPC, Bike and Pedestrian Committee, MTRAC, and the Beach Safety Committee as well. So, look, we've never done this before, so we've had some organizational meetings. We're coming together on that, but I would suggest one of the things that we want to talk about and maybe, think about between now and our next meeting is what do we as a group want to present? If anybody has, I think there's some general thoughts. Climate School seems to be a great opportunity to discuss that. The desalination water sustainability results that came about last year, one of their recommendations is, we've given you the information, public outreach is a big part of their program. To me, this fits right into one of those opportunities for public outreach. So, but those are just my initial thoughts with that. I'm sure there's many other aspects of the Environmental Commission. We can talk about, people have there's other issues, other matters. But what I would suggest is between now and our next meeting, we drill down on some of those issues. So we go into this having a plan as far as what we want to present. And although the meeting is May 20th, I know Casey Radigan, who is organizing this from the city standpoint, is trying to get folks on deadlines as far as doing slide presentations related to the mini presentation or any other information that she would need from there's a lot of work involved in organizing and running an event like this. So the big piece is that from an organizational standpoint, she's taking care of. We have an opportunity to kind of internally drill down, though, on those issues.
Okay. This will dovetail a little bit about, we were going to 2026 program planning by Dave. Let's just dovetail that. Charlotte had submitted a list here of other things that we should be trying to do for this coming year. Any suggestion that you have, jot it down. We ought to be planning our year as we go. Our temporary budget, we got like $2,900.
How come it's less?
That's temporary. It'll probably be, 10 grand more than that, maybe? Or, don't know for sure. But it'll be more than that, depending on what the...
What's going on here?
It's just temporary.
Where'd our money go?
Yeah, it's between
It's till the
20
city...
and 30% of what the full budget's
Yeah,
going to be.
till the city
So it's-
approves the whole budget, we
Great.
don't have, this is just what we can work on. So they can...
But that's why it's kind of important, soon as possible, kind of decide what we want to do
Yeah.
going forward. And that's why I was also asking Charlotte to kind of discuss ANJAC and explain to the new members what it is, because there is a fee that goes along with becoming members with that, so, which is,
All right, let's find it. Charlotte, you want to talk about ANJAC then, real quick?
Surely. If you all can go online and look up ANJEC and let them know that you're interested in taking some of their orientation courses, you'll see that you'll be given information, and we pay dues to this state organization just as other communities do, so that we can have an idea of what's happening environmentally in all parts of the state, and the recommendations given to us by the ANJAC leaders. They also publish a booklet, which we used to get printed, and now it's online. So you may just want to thumb through that. But as I said before, there is an orientation course given for new environmental commission members. So that's just something to think about. Also, in terms of our city, we have so many opportunities.
I could do it really
for
fast.
all you new members to get involved in Harborfest, Monarch Fest, Beach Cleanup, Dune Grass Planting, Columbia University Water Study, consultants for the Harborview Park, consultants for Lafayette Street Park, Nature Trail, consultants for Harbor Restoration Project along Delaware Avenue, service consultants to the Cape May Planning Board, and support. This is coming up too. Support for celebration for the 2026 events the city will hold. We may want to think about some ways environmentally that we would want to be involved there too. I don't know if, Mike, you wanted me to talk about anything else today?
Let's postpone it. We have a couple other things we want to talk about. Does anybody have any questions about the minutes? All right.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. Motion to approve, everybody?
I'll make motion.
Okay. Voicemail. And Gretchen, you want to talk quickly about?
Just really,
go ahead.
yeah, really quick, the National Wildlife Federation has a certified community wildlife habitat that the city of Cape May, as part of the Cape Island communities, has that certification. We have to reapply every year. I was mistaken, I thought we had a 5-year thing, but that was like the original charter or whatever. But every year, we have to submit a very simple report about the things we're doing in our community. And I did that in December. It was approved. We just have to make sure we're keeping track of all the great accomplishments that we're doing. And I do have to say, one of the ways that we're able to do this is because of the activities being done at the Nature Center. Things like Monarch Fest and the different events there, we get bonus points. So I'm just putting that out there. The more ways this commission can collaborate and work with the Nature Center, it's a good thing. So anyway, we have that certification. We do have a big sign at the Nature Center. When we were first, the CEO of National Wildlife Federation came to the recognition ceremony, I forget, it was 10 years ago now. And the big sign that was given was put on the Nature Center grounds. It was sort of in a hidden spot. And maybe that's not where it needs to be. Maybe, the Nature Center is off the beaten track for many visitors. We want people to come to us, but maybe the sign needs to be put another place in town where more people can see it. So that's just something that we need to think about. That's it. I just won't belabor that point, but the only other thing that's going to happen before our next meeting is on April 11th is the Clean Ocean Action Beach Sweeps. And there's always two sweeps that happen in Cape May. One is on Cape May Harbor, done by the Nature Center of Cape May, and the other is Second Avenue by the Pavilion, where students from Lower Cape May Regional High School clean the oceanfront beaches. So that's 9 a.m. on Saturday, April 11th. It's also the day that the city is doing the Blessing of the Waters ceremony at Fisherman's Memorial at 11 a.m. So that's just something to put on your calendars. And just one other quick thing is May 2nd is the Nature Center's native plant sale. Volunteers are needed for that event, but that's an opportunity to get the native plants that we all should be planting in our gardens. So,
Okay.
Can I piggyback on that really quick? So we also have a new event coming up on April 24th for Arbor Day. We're planting a Liberty tree at La Fishery Park. That's going to be at 11 a.m. So everybody here is invited to come and partake in that.
Liberty Tree?
Yeah, yep. Which is a traditional tree that you plant in your park, yeah. So, and it's a rare tree, which is pretty cool, so.
Nice.
what time?
That's at 11 a.m.
Anybody else have anything to offer? Good meeting today.
When are we doing Dune Day?
That's in the fall.
Yeah, are we making the map or the calendar? Or just a program planning on that?
Yeah, so that's what I was hoping to eventually talk about the programs going forward, but we want to, because that's
Can we
going to
make
cost some money.
that the main issue for our next meeting is really, no, programming.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Everything,
Absolutely.
events,
Yeah.
programming.
Yeah.
What are we really focusing on, other than the ongoing things like the climate project, but.
Anybody have anything that they want to talk about? You could probably get it to Dave, or just send him an email. Okay. Otherwise, you can just bring it up at the next meeting.
You mentioned a whole bunch of dates, and I'm sorry if I missed this, but beach cleanup, I think we have the beach cleanup, first one's April 22nd, Poverty Beach. Is that 3 to 5,
Yes.
3 to 5 o'clock? Can you just,
Yeah.
for those that may be listening?
Wonderful,
Because
yes.
we need to recruit folks, so all the people that are listening to the live stream,
Yes.
Dave's going to tell you where to show up.
The Cleans communities too, so we'll have a monthly beach cleanup. So first one's going to be April 22nd, which is Earth Day at Poverty Beach. And the ad will go out soon to the public of all the other days going forward, all different beach locations too. So hopefully that'll be maybe early next week, the ad will go out, so.
A lot of dates in this last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anybody else have anything you want to say? Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
All righty. Mic's off.